Another day in Flat Earth Shed.
Right, so we're trying to whittle down what's important and how to move forward and how to progress with all this stuff. So, as we were saying, I know we keep repeating it constantly, but it's I think it's really, really important. How do we move forward? The way I see is moving forward is simple. People need to let go of all these fucking assumptions and hopes and investment in all these models and stuff. I'm repeating myself again, but I need to keep repeating it because it's the truth.
The reason it's getting repeated, I mean, over the past week, 4 separate times I've seen 4 separate people promoting 4 different maps.
Aye.
Now, the way it's getting put across, there was one guy I even messaged him because he was putting across this is the accepted flat earth map.
Yeah.
Now someone else is saying this is the flat earth map, and then there's someone else saying this is the map with the ice walls. Now there's another one as well, the square one, that's right, there's a diamond one as well. I can't mind, I think that was Lawrence Wright or Christ or whatever his name is.
Yeah,
I don't know his name.
Right,
But anyway, he was promoting a square one. So there's 4 different maps that are getting promoted. But the way they're getting promoted is as if every flat earther is promoting this map.
Aye.
What people need to realise is if you see anybody promoting a map, is question them on it. Whether they're pushing a block, whether they're pushing a square, whether they're pushing a diamond, whether they're pushing concave, convex, whatever they're pushing, question them on it.
Aye.
Just say, excuse me, how can you turn around and say that's an accepted model? If it's not it's accepted by them, then people need to understand that it's accepted by them and put that across to them, because it's going to lump a lot of folk in when it gets proven wrong. Because you can't have 4 different maps and say they're alright. There you've divided everybody into a quarter already. You know? So if one of the 3 of the maps can get disproved, there's 3/4 of this apparent, which is why I use words like fucking movement, crushed.
Aye.
Because of guilty by association.
That's right.
And this is what they're all there. And they understand their MO. You know, that is their MO. If they're claiming something and pushing something and promoting it, question them on it. Don't just go, oh well, they're a flat earther as well, so I'm just going to side with them. That's confirmation bias. We don't need that.
You know, people can try and defend it and say that they're being creative and they're trying to pursue this and they're trying to pursue that. At the end of the day, it's no the priority as far as I'm concerned.
Well, unless they want to put across at first that you say this is a hypothesis, not this is an accepted. This is a hypothesis.
But even using it as a hypothesis, they're so vast. It's impossible for anybody to sit in an armchair and get it exact. It's just not going to happen. So the only way forward for that is ditching every single one of these models and stop clinging onto them. Well, we're all born into the claim it was a globe. The burden lies with the claim, and that's where the focus is purely, and it's the only thing I'm interested in. And everybody, I mean, people want to chat, they want to get together and talk, and people are producing books and maps and theories and stories, and at the end of the day it's like this: we are waking up from a sleep. Okay, now everything that was involved in that sleep, books, all these things, is part of the sleep world. It's no fucking real, right? And we've got no way of verifying it, and all it does is going to hold us back. You know, people are trying this. I get the feeling that people feel as if they need to be relevant and feel as if they're important or they're knowledgeable. I mean, you're not knowledgeable in any of this fucking stuff. It's the same shit as before. You're regurgitating stuff that was fed to you and supplied to you from the fucking dream world. You know, it's you're not impressing me by sounding fucking clever about talking about fucking secret societies or you've got this 200-year-old book that tells you this or tells you that, you know, and it all sounds fucking fantastical.
I paid £800 for this Freemason book that proves nonsense.
That's the point of that. You know what I mean? It's like,
to me, true knowledge is only based on experience.
Experience, and that's it, right? So what is our experience? We've been fucking lied to, right? So anything that comes through that dream world, as I say, is is
Part of the dream.
aye. So where are we? Right, that is the question. Where are we? Right,
We don't know.
we don't know. Aye, exactly, man. We don't fucking know where we are.
So there's an acceptance.
Yeah.
Accept the fact we don't know.
Aye.
Because as soon as we can turn around and say we don't know, that's the initial beginning of opening the mind to find out where.
Yeah.
If you turn around and say, but I know it's this or I know it's that, you've shut your mind down, you're not basing it on experience, you're basing it on hearsay, and you're trying to lead others along your wee brainstorm, you know?
Aye. And that's what we need. We need people with the capabilities to be able to strip the globe, to tear it apart, you know, and articulate it to people. You know, as I said before, we were talking about in the last video, about articulating it the right way. Because if you look at the way these types of mind, the scientism, if you like, the way they operate, go and start watching some of the creationism, evolution debates, you know, and how they're arguing points, and you know what I mean. It's like you can learn a lot for that kind of thing, because at the end of the day, it works on burden of proof lies with the claim. Right? The only claim I ever make is that when I say flat Earth, it means that it has to be able to contain the ocean, the oceans, you know, the water. It's the simplest fucking that, and that's a claim I can back up, and every single person alive can test it and verify it, that it doesn't conform to the external shapes. You can't have slopes without the water flowing. You know, it's got physical properties and physical behaviours that we apply in everyday life, and to me they are facts of life. You know, there is no escaping that. So whatever it is, it has to be able to contain it. And the other point we were talking about was pressures.
Yes.
You know?
Now, as far as I'm aware, and through my experience, we have to be within an enclosed system.
Yeah.
Because only enclosed systems can contain pressure.
Aye.
You know, that to me is just a simple physics fact.
Yep.
Now, you can all sit and do your wee dot to dot fancy pictures with your X's and lambdas and try and create a lovely wee image which says, no, no really. But as far as I'm concerned, you need to enclose a system to contain pressure.
Yeah.
I mean, this classic example, you've got heating systems, you've got air conditioning systems, you've got all sorts of systems where you have to contain it to hold a higher pressure.
Yeah.
So anything that holds pressure has to be contained.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying before folk go like that, oh, he's just saying there's a dome, or I'm not saying
No.
anything. All I'm saying is I'm pointing out the facts here, natural facts. Water is always flat, so where we live has to be able to support that fact. We have pressure, which therefore, to me, proves that we live within an enclosed system.
Yep.
You know, because that's the only ways you can do it.
I mean, that's testable, observable reality. We apply this
Yeah.
knowledge every single day of our lives. It's run about us everywhere, you know.
And anybody that goes on about curvature and all the rest of it obviously don't understand physics to its full extent, because there is such a thing as moisture in the air, there's
Yeah.
heat in the air, there's air
Refraction,
movement,
yeah.
there's refraction, diffraction and
that's-
reflection. So there's your curve thing. You
Aye.
just want to play about with your wee
That adds-
inch per mile squared or whatever nonsense that is.
And that adds to my whole point in the last videos as well about the red herrings and people referencing
Yeah.
the fucking sky and spending hours of time trying to prove how far away the sun is or pinpoint where the sun is, because is anybody can anybody use figures for refraction? Is anybody taking any of this kind of
Can I
stuff
have a wee
into
side
account?
lead in this bit there? We were just talking about the sun. I always find this hilarious. You know, everybody's trying to pinpoint the sun. Apparently it's moving at 500,000 miles an hour. Going to be fucking hard to pinpoint. But don't worry about it, because what I've realised as well through my thinkings of these things, the sun's travelling at 500,000 miles an hour, right? And we're all following it.
Yep.
On our planets and such like, you know, and other planets and whatever. But then every 76 years along comes Halley's Comet.
Aye.
In the exact same trajectory, appears in the exact same trajectory, and they can time it, and it goes round the sun apparently, then fires back again.
Yeah.
For 76 years, and I'm not even going to bother getting a calculator to work out how far the sun has actually travelled in these 76 years at 500,000 miles an hour. But Halley's Comet has got one of the best GPS systems I've ever heard in my fucking life. But anyway, that's just a wee sideline. I just thought I'd interject with that, because I find that hilarious.
So, because we were talking about suggesting like petitions and stuff, and that's not going to happen. There's too much fucking about with stuff like that. It's just no. The only way that I can see is progressing forward is identifying people and and helping each other and supporting each other who talk in the same level. You know, as I say, we're debunking the globe, and as soon as that's accepted that we can debunk the globe, then we move forward. You know, if you're hypothesising and philosophising, then fine, but you really should be disclaiming that, you know what I mean, so that it's no causing confusion, because they're just generalising with everything. You know, it's easy to see, you know, this flat earth model or that, and just automatically assuming, even if I'm part of a group where I'm in there, they just start talking to me as if they automatically assume that I'm there defending some sort of fucking
Lose
model.
the bias confirmation, folks.
Aye.
Yeah, basically be independent. If you don't agree with somebody, don't
I
agree
think
with
maybe
them.
the problem is as well that people jumped on it at the beginning, and now because they've got a bit of a following and they feel as if they're a bit important, it's like they're scared to go, oh, I was wrong in it, and admit. We need to start admitting when we're wrong, or we're never going to fucking move forward. Do you know what I mean? It's like,
They say move forward, another one is, where are we now? We are at a point where we've been told that we live in a spinning ball in the middle of a giant vacuum, right? Now, the first thing we need to do, debunk that, which there's plenty of folk out there doing through experimentation, through observation and through natural science to totally debunk that. There's still some folk out there that are still hanging on to it, but don't worry about it, they'll fall off at one point. Now, once that is totally proven, even just to yourself, that's when you need to start hypothesising, theorising, experimenting, observing and proving.
yeah.
You can't just come out with something that's come into your head and say, well, I think it's this. Nah, thinking isn't the answer. It's not the exact answer. Obviously we need to think
As I
ourselves
said to
through
you
things.
before, you know, giving you a hypothetical situation, if we woke up in a circular room that we'd been there for all our life and we didn't know anything else, you know, are we going to sit there and ponder and go, right, you know, obviously we can see that it's no, they told us it was a triangle, we obviously can see that it's a fucking circle, you know, but what does the rest of the house look like? You know, we can sit there and hypothesise and blah blah blah, or we can actually just go and investigate, you know, but we need the numbers up to be able to investigate. We're going to have a harder time getting the numbers up if we've got all this fucking shite in between trying to argue and defend globes, and while we're pulling apart the globe model, they're coming in and trying to get us to defend this fucking flat model, and that's fucking no the thing. If you're making these claims, then you need to fuck right off. Do you know what I mean? Let the fucking models go.
And anybody out there that sees anybody making these claims with their videos and all that, question them on it.
It's no important. We don't need to come forward with models. It's fucking ridiculous, man.
We're not here to answer all these globalists' questions. They're there to ask your question because they've got the claim.
That's the claim we were born into, and if they want to defend that claim, then the burden's on them. It's pure and fucking simple. And it's easier that way because you know that they've no got anything. We've got enough people who can strip every one of their 10 best fucking proofs that we live in a globe, if you can even call them that.
Well, there's a guy, what is it, Rob Durham his name is.
Aye.
Now, he's brilliant. I recommend folk go and see him because he actually does experimentation and does it on videos. He's been using gyroscopes and vacuums and such like, and he's done this off his own back. That's the kind of way everybody should be moving forward. If they understand what they're doing, don't just say to yourself, I'm going to buy a vac pump and that'll do it. You know, you need to understand the actual tools you're using. You know, so I'd go and watch Rob Durham. That's a way to progress, but that's progressing to totally debunk their globe myth. You know, that's our main priority here. Debunk that. We don't need another comfort blanket to hang on to. We can live in the void of I don't know for a while.
It's
You know,
it's not that uncomfortable to say you don't know. You know what I mean?
I've got more respect for people that can actually turn
So
around and say I
that.
don't know.
Because at least then we're being realistic. We're
Because
not
the other thing I
trying to
look
be
at,
fucking gurus, you know.
Everybody's got an opinion, as you know, but even opinions aren't worth a fuck unless they're based on experience. I mean, I could have an opinion on brain surgery. What the fuck do I know about brain surgery?
exactly.
What have I experienced with brain surgery?
Yeah.
Fuck all.
Yeah.
So what's my opinion worth? Fuck all.
Right. And the whole fucking esoteric truth movement about giving on about fucking secret societies and it's them and it's the big bad guy and it's we don't even fucking know who's running the show, really. We're just looking at images and symbols. That could all just be put there to fucking throw you off anyway, do you know what I mean? It's like tantalise them and confuse them with all
Even that
this.
full esoteric thing, what does that teach people? You don't actually need to be active, just go and sit in a corner and think about it.
Aye, read books. Again, you're reading books and all of a sudden you're new knowledgeable. It's the exact same shite that they've been doing to people. Do you know what I mean? So you want to gear up this dream world, but oh no, this dream world's fine because you understand it and you can present it. Do you know what I mean?
Because this is my dream world, you know, so everybody can
I'm sure
fit
we
that.
could sit and regurgitate fucking 20 odd year of esoteric bump, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I was saying, it's like fucking, we're playing with Good Will Hunting here, folks. You know, we've got too many Will Huntings
Yep.
and no enough Robin Williams. You know, and if you actually look at that film the right way, there's not one
Especially
part.
the scene in the park with the
Well,
bench.
that's the bit I was going to mention, because that gives you the crux of the whole movie. Everybody thinks that Will Hunting's this really intelligent guy and all the rest of it. No, he's no.
No.
You know, and Robin Williams points that out to him. What you're actually looking at in that movie is the battle between natural science and formal science. Robin Williams is natural science. Matt Damon is formal science. You know, he's no experience.
No.
He's no got experience in anything, but he can quote books and quote
Regurgitate.
sonnets. He can regurgitate, vomit back out, repeat, which means he's just nothing but a repeater. He's no intelligent because he's got no experience.
Yep.
That's the point of that film, folks. So
Yep.
I'd watch it. It's brilliant.
Aye,
You know
so-
this. And actually, that's where the battle. Because there's a bit in the movie I find quite weird, and it's when he basically grabs his bird by the throat. I should be
Yeah,
fired.
that's me, aye.
You know, when he grabs the bird by the throat, and I was like, that's a bit fucking extreme. But see, when you break it down, natural science v formal science, his bird was natural science.
Yeah.
And he heard the truth, first it's laughed at, then it's met with violence,
Yeah.
before it's accepted. Go through the movie, you know, and you'll see at what point his formal science laughs at the natural science, then it gets violent, it grabs natural science by the throat, his bird.
Yeah.
And then it's accepted. He disappears into the sunset, happy as ever, realising that his life is just full of shite.
Yeah. And as I said at the beginning, when you watch this creationism and evolution debates or these kind of debates, you know, the evolutionists who are the science, they're claiming their science, you know, oh no, your religion's rubbish because first of all you can't prove God, it's stuff we can't recreate, we can't test, we
Yeah.
can't observe, and then the fuckers are going and doing the exact same thing.
Well, I can prove evolution, I've done it to you before.
Aye.
Last week I was a giraffe.
That's it. But
Next week I'll be a spider.
these people want to chop and change when it suits them, when they want to claim it's science, you know, because if it's their story, it's science. But if your question, you're
Aye.
wrong, you know. So when you question the globe and they're telling you space is a vacuum and Earth's held blah blah, and you go, okay, recreate it. If it's true and it's reality for the micro to the macro, you should be able to recreate it. Can you recreate it and show me that? No. It's only on the bigger scale.
No.
You just don't get it. It's too big.
You need a planet-sized
Aye.
rock.
That's just like some religion going. You just don't understand God. You just because you don't understand God doesn't mean
It's
you
the
know
God
what I mean?
gap.
Aye, and we can't test it. We can't observe it. So it's no natural science. You know what I mean?
Aye. So therefore, to break that down, if it's something you can't test or experiment on or observe,
Yeah.
then
Recreate.
that is a theory which takes belief,
Yeah.
which takes us back down religion.
Yeah.
We've
Because it
been
is
there
belief.
before.
It is belief. Belief is
You
a
need to put
substitute.
faith in somebody else's words.
Belief is a substitute for the truth. The truth is just the fucking truth. You know what I mean? It doesn't need any spin. And these people that say, oh, we can't have any real truths. Of course you can have fucking real truth.
Experience gives you real
That's
fucking
it.
truth.
Um,
Experience getting hit by a bus. So the
Aye.
truth of the fact is, you get hit by a
So-
bus, it's fucking sore.
So a wee example of that and how I address these types of things. Okay, somebody's telling me I live on a globe. Alright, I look at a globe and I go, right. So you're telling me that water, vast bodies of water can conform to the exterior of a shape and that I can have slope. If I'm standing on the beach, the ocean can be sloping away from me and the water's not flowing. And that goes totally against what I observe and test and everybody else can observe and test. Can you recreate that? Can you show me a practical example of it? Well, you fucking can't. Right?
And this is where folk are going to go down the gravity gap.
But again, it's
Well, where I was going to go with that was to show you the total contradictions with gravity. I mean, there's 1.26 times 10 to the power of 21 litres of water on this planet. Every litre's a kilogram, right? So there you go, that's the weight of water, and gravity can hold all that in a ball shape.
Aye.
But insects can fly.
Aye.
Now, how can it hold that mass of weight and still let wee tiny things float away? You know, it's either the strongest thing that's ever existed imaginarily, or it's the weakest thing, or is it just so like God? It's omnipotent. It can be strong. It can be weak.
That's
it
what
just
it's like,
is, and that's fucking
it's the
religion,
same.
folks.
It's the same pattern as they used when they used the religions to control folk. The same gaps, the same shit that they pushed. You know what I mean? So, and they can talk all they like, you know, but they have to have the practical example, the empirical observation that goes with that. You can't just recite stuff and claim that because other priests or people in that religion, scientism, whatever, agree to it that it's true. No, it has to be it has to be repeatable. It
Aye,
has
so
to be able to
rather than
recreate it.
sitting behind your wee keyboard quoting other people's experiments, you weren't there to see the experiments, so that tells me you're full of shite.
Yeah.
Either recreate the experiment, do a video on it, get other folk there to witness it, and then that's you progressing. Sitting there repeating other folk, Foucault's pendulum, Aristoteles and fucking other giblets, Newton, Einstein.
Oh, that-
You weren't fucking there talking to them, so stop quoting people. You just look like an imbecile.
rattling on about the fucking sky because we don't live in the fucking sky.
Even Einstein says we don't live in a fucking ball.
Aye.
But hey, it's cherry picking when Einstein's
Aye.
concerned, and it's
It's
cherry
not cherry
picking when
picking,
Newton's
but
concerned.
in order to catch them out in their cherry picking, you need to understand. I mean, they're the ones that have been pushing. You know, they're telling you how to logically think, and
Aye.
oh, we demand proof, we demand this.
We're
we
not
demand-
giving you
no.
any.
Aye, but then when you're asking it for them, oh, it's too big for you to know. It's too big to observe. Therefore, and that's
You're too
images.
small, stupid, and insignificant. You know, because you're a tiny wee nothingness on a wee tiny ball that's spinning in the middle of nothingness, which is surrounded by other big giant balls which are spinning in the middle of nothingness.
Going back to the pressure thing again, because we were talking about the water, which is a really good point. You know, I'll let you.
Oh, no, this is just one of my wee perusals as I like to play. Now we all know how, like, the deeper you get in water,
Yep.
the more pressure there is.
Yep.
You know, there's a higher pressure due to the mass, density, whatever you want to call it, of the water above. But my point being, is there actually any more water there?
No.
You know? Well, I don't know, I've never actually been like 1,000 metres
You can't
down.
compress water. We know
Well,
that.
that's how we get hydraulics, right?
Yep.
So you'll get the same amount of water, although it's at a different pressure.
Yep.
Now, everybody goes on about the atmosphere, and this is how they try and say with gravity, how it's just actually getting lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser,
Yeah.
you know, because of all the molecules are all sitting down the way. Now, to play with that, this is what I do, I play with things. Who's to say there's any less air?
Yeah.
It's just under less pressure. The same as the top of a swimming pool, just maybe a foot down, has got hardly any pressure, but within a set size, you have the same amount of water as you would 1,000 metres down.
Yeah.
You know? So is that the same with air? It's just a wee thing I play with, along with all the other things, just to prove that we no, it doesn't. I don't see air getting less and less and less, because water doesn't get less and less and less.
No, aye, as you
I
come
know they're
deeper
two
at the
completely
top.
different things,
Aye.
liquid and vapours. You know, I'm no stupid in that sense. Maybe stupid in other ways. But to me, I don't really see it like that. I see it as we are within an enclosed system. Now, this is just my perusals. This isn't a claim, or I'm stating as a fact, as accepted. So I think that we are within an enclosed system which holds the air, and the pressure of the air is what keeps water as a liquid.
Yeah.
You know? Because anybody with any sense knows if there was no pressure above water, then the water would just evaporate back
Yeah.
to its molecular structure.
Yeah. So it has to be. I mean, and that's the difference. The things that we're talking about are based on everyday experience, testing, observation. You know what I mean? You can create a hypothesis based on that. You know, you can say, you know, based on testing experience every single day. Then on the macro, well, it has to be some sort of pressurised container.
The only thing that can affect air to a certain extent is what a pressure, temperature.
Yeah.
They're so intertwined, it's so relevant. Now, obviously, this is where this is where I say, you know my thoughts. I mean, Halley's Comet with the best GPS. This is where I travel. Fuck off.
Forget.
I forgot it. It's gone.
We'll come back to it.
Aye, I'll
But
come
that's it.
back to it
I
at
mean,
the right time.
there's so much energy.
Aye, how come the further out in the atmosphere you get, the colder it becomes, even although you are theoretically getting closer to the heat source that we apparently have. Now this is how I'm saying something's not right with what we're told concerning, oh, there's less molecules. I don't see it as less molecules. You know, it's the same as that's why I was using the water scenario.
Yeah.
There's no less water molecules in 10 centimetres cubed of water at 1,000 metres than there is in 10 centimetres cubed of water at a foot. You know, it's the same amount of water.
Yep.
It's just under different pressure.
Yeah.
So the same with air, it's under different pressure due to different temperature. You know, that's just the way I see it. If people want to play along with that and take it further, then by all means
That's
enjoy
it.
yourself. It's just another toy.
Yep. But I say there's all that, and there's so much energy and arguments and effort put into trying to explain the stars and what's going on in the sky, and that's been going on as far as their history. They're trying to tell you for thousands of years, which is another fucking nonsensical thing. Because all that, as I say, all that stuff's information for the dream world. So we can't take any of that as fucking anything. You know?
His story.
His story. That's it.
Whose story?
I'm fucking tired of stories.
Aye.
I'm tired. I've spent 30 odd years of philosophising and thinking and pondering and trying to make sense of it all and getting into every avenue I could until I got the missing piece where it all fell together. And now that the dust's settled and I'm clear in my thought, my only ambition is to find the fucking exit door to this machine that I believe we're inside. You know?
Time to catch the white rabbit, skin it and cook it and fucking eat it.
Aye.
Am I right, Alice?
Exactly. No more fucking about, you know what I mean?
Aye.
No falling into their traps and giving people an avenue to come and pick and pick and pick. No, if we take the globe model and fucking obliterate everything that they're trying to put towards us, you know, that's solid, that's untouchable, you know, and we're not adding any claims in for them to show any weaknesses. No, we're just the dagger in the globe. That's what I'm interested in, killing that fucker.
Aye. Because the other thing they'll do is with their gish gallop is they'll just keep asking a different question, a different question,
Aye.
a different question. They could ask you 999 questions that you could answer right, and then they ask you one question where you might not know the answer. Now what they're going to do is they're going to ignore the other 999 facts and focus on the one thing that you can get wrong.
Aye.
So this is why we're saying don't claim fuck all.
Aye.
Because you could have hundreds of shit that's been true and true and true. As soon as you hit one thing that they can prove as a lie or a claim that you can't prove, everything you've done gets fucked.
Aye.
That's how they're attacking messengers.
Yeah.
So go back to the content and fine tune the content. Some folk might have some truths, but they might have some shite in amongst it too. It's up to you to decipher.
But I'm gonna, if you know when I'm gonna distance myself from anybody who's pushing models and actively doing all that stuff.
Right.
That to me is the fucking problem. So we says in the previous video, analyse their content. If they're persisting in it, you know that they've got an agenda. You know, my agenda is the truth. That's where it lies with me. Bring anybody in front of me, I mean anybody, and I will tear that fucking globe apart. That's all I'm interested in. Until the word spreads. And in an ideal situation, I would get that the numbers would be big enough for us to demand full disclosure. That's the only way forward. Full disclosure or full exploration. There is no other avenue for me. That's it. Fucking it is though, you know what I mean? It's just the same shite as the whole fucking truth movement from before. Just regurgitate. It's just a big washing machine of fucking crap. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
Oh, that makes sense, no, but it never attaches to anything solid. It doesn't take you forward anywhere. You know.
It's just like a wee mind spell with lovely words that make you feel good.
Because you can maybe perceive or understand something. I mean, it's just fuck it. Do you know what I mean?
Aye.
We know fucking absolutely nothing. We have our own experiences and we know things based on our own experience, but this question of where we are, it's just a logical, natural science fucking question. It's got nothing to do with personality or anything else. Religions, people talking about, get them auty fuck.
Life is simple. When it becomes complicated, it's because it's man-made.
Yeah.
So if you're fed complications, give them back to the man that made them.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. We don't need all these. I mean, when I was going through all engineering stuff and everything else, and you start it as if you were speaking a different language, you know. And then you think about it like that. What? It's almost pretentious to an extent, you know, because you're using all these fancy terminologies and all that. And I was like, fuck off! Crack open the valves. Crack open the valves. Oh no, we don't do that here.
Because people are operating on personalities.
I'm backing out the system. No, you're not. You're doing a pressure rise test, man. Fuck off, fannies.
Pompous fucks.
That's exactly it, mate.
All the fucking distraction and all the problems are being caused because people are getting into it as entertainers and using their personality. Their egos are getting the better of them. They've lost track of what's important, you know. I mean, at the end of the day, you were fucking lied to
Yep.
So, as I say, everything that you take for that sleep, just let it fucking stay there. You know, that's no, your obligation isn't it to try and make sense of the sleep. It's like you've woke up now, where the fuck are we?
You're removing the virtual reality helmet. Use your own fucking eyes.
Me philosophise and me, I mean, at the end of the day, I still like to philosophise, and obviously I play with ideas about
That's what it's about.
naturally you're
Play
going to
with
do
toys,
that.
mate.
Aye, but if I was going on film or going into one of these shows, I would declare that it's just philosophising. You know what I mean?
You don't back across as fact.
No.
That's what people are doing. This
Aye.
is back to the content again.
Or talk about it and then relate to books and go over it was in it as if you're kind of trying to influence people because you've got the weight of this fucking book. Do
You're
you know
just
what I
using
mean?
biased confirmation.
That, exactly.
Don't
that.
argue with me, argue with the book.
Aye.
Well, you're the one that's promoting the book. I can't argue with a book, it's bits of paper, you know, it's not going to come back to me.
See, fuck all happened in the whole truth movement over the last 15 years because it's no meant to fucking
Of
happen.
course it isn't.
You know what I mean?
It's a perpetual circle.
Aye. It's all about, and as we spoke before, all these religions and all these things, it's all like trying to get you in a state of mind where we're trying to make sense of this world. Like, we need to be here to make sense of this, and oh, there's a path where it's God or it's this or that. What if it's no? What if there's a fucking door that leaves, you can leave the fucking machine? You know what I mean? What if that's the fucking reality?
Yeah.
That, to me, that's more a possibility than fucking anything. So I says before, I know.
But I'm going to say, like, because you've got the kind of thoughts and such like, right, one of the maps that was promoted through the week was like a 1,000-year-old Buddhist map. And it was going along the same lines as your map Howland.
Right.
You know, where you had your centre part, which was what we would call the fucking Mercator projection map.
Or
But
the
Aye.
azimuthal.
I can't,
The flat map you're talking about.
I don't know.
Circular flat map.
Aye, but hey, that's what I'm saying, I don't know.
Aye, that's it.
They've got all these different names for all these apparent maps. But outside that, there was other like, different islands as such, like, so I says that's along the map Howland scenario. Now, as you're saying to yourself that you think there should be a way in and a way out,
Yeah.
by them coming out with their kind of maps and then that kind of feed story, because it can fit with your ideas, you could easily get
Straight
dragged
into
along with that.
Yep.
That's
Aye,
my
the
point.
confirmation bias.
Uh-huh.
Because if I think that's an original thought, but it could have came from somewhere subliminal, and then I see like maps or other people talking about it, I can cling to that and go, well, there might be some truth in that because other people are talking about it,
Aye.
and then you're shook back in again. Do you know
Exactly,
what
that's what I thought to point
Aye.
that out,
Aye,
because
that's
that's
a
how
good
a
point,
lot
aye.
of folks get
I mean? And another
dragged
point
in
to
there.
that with the Mark Powell thing, because I tried to speak to him about that before, and his whole thing about, oh, let's have an expedition across Antarctica. But that's based on a map. That's based on the assumption that the North Pole's in the centre and the Antarctic's this ice wall round the outside. What if it's no?
Ice
What if it's the
wall,
opposite?
ice
What if the Antarctic's a fucking middle and they let you go on your expedition and you fucking pop out the other side? I mean, do you know what I mean?
So this is what happens when people can start hypothesising. I mean, there's no limits, there's no lines
No.
to hypothesising.
No.
You know, that is the proverbial chat in the house, you know what I mean?
Stick to fucking claims and burden the fucking proof. Do you know what I
Aye.
mean? Again, this is probably just all repetition, but fuck it.
Aye.
You know what I mean? I'm going to keep saying it to you, I'm fucking blue in the face until eventually people start fucking getting it. You know what I mean?
I thought
If you
people-
want rid of fucking agents and all these fucking Illuminati manipulators and all that kind of stuff,
Just ignore them.
stop taking in their fucking shite and holding on to it and representing it. Just ditch it all. Ditch it. Sit comfortable in the fact that you're in truth. You know the globe's a fucking lie. We can prove the globe is a fucking lie. That's a solid foundation for us to start. Nobody can touch that.
So, yeah.
Aye.
There's fucking mindfulness today.
Aye. There's the beers and the grub. So. And
Another thing to watch out for as well, you see all these apparent channels with tens of thousands to hundreds of thousands of subscribers and millions of views. Be wary of that. As far as I'm aware, that's just a total fucking con. You know what I mean? Because the people are drawn in with numbers. You know, it's that herd mentality. Back to evolution, that's how we're indoctrinated through that herd mentality. Your nature programs and everything. Ignore numbers. Just what feels good for you, which is get content that can get backed up.
Aye.
If there's anything else out there, learn how to say no to it, no matter how nice it's wrapped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
learn to say no to it.
As we spoke about that in kind of detail in the last video.
Mm.
If you're applying logic and critical thought and stuff, then really shouldn't be falling into these things.
Yeah.
And the reason that they're falling into it all the time is because it's all emotional based stuff.
Mhm.
Natural science and using logic and reasoning has got fucking nothing to do with emotions, man.
I mean, you're doing a different road with that one, as we've spoken about for fucking years now. We're living in an emotional world.
yeah.
People are operating on an emotional level. Fact and logic
Aye.
has been out the fucking window.
So how did they get people into that emotional state? Because the first thing,
Kelly?
right, well, first you need to create the trauma. You know, you've got to have the trauma. So you confuse people. You start throwing doubt and you tell them they're on a globe.
Mm.
To me, that's the blindfold. That's as soon as you can get people to believe in the globe, that's it. You've fucking got them. Now, because that's a fake foundation, you're going to start getting crazy, strange behaviours happening that just start to spiral, and people get traumatised, they'll get scared, they become malleable, you can manipulate.
Oh, fuck aye.
You know, because then they're operating on just emotion because they've not got any solid foundation of where they are.
No.
You know, they don't understand that the logical mind and that kind of thought is what's at the forefront. You know, emotions are just a feedback.
Well, the other way, look, I mean, look at the PC brigade. You know, I'm talking generalising. I'm general here. Well, everybody, you see it in the fucking papers and the telly all the time. People getting offended. Now that's an emotional reaction, but that's used to control others.
Yep.
You know, that's what I'm saying about that's another wee rabbit hole in its saying.
Aye.
You know, because we are operating on an emotional level. Look at your X Factor winners. Oh, they've had a hard life. They were bullied. Oh, vote for them. Vote for them. Vote for the victim. Vote.
Yep.
Everybody's a victim. We're all playing in emotions. Grow up. Grow a fucking backbone.
Aye.
And know what to do as well. Go out and offend as many people as you can
Yeah,
because
that's
they're
it.
actually going to help them.
That's it.
See, by kowtowing to them, bowing down to them, you're actually enabling these fuckwits to be like that. You know, oh, poor them. No, fucking stick with fact and logic here.
And that reminds me of, you know,
You know,
again,
other people call me Spock and all the Trekkies.
that reminds me, that just really kind of puts to the point of, you know, I still see it with people that are still talking like as if we can work this out and fix this reality and fucking, you know, it's whose reality is this? Whose machine is this fucking thing? You know what I mean? How are you going to fix it? Well, if every one of these religions, whether it be a new age spiritual thing or any of the other stuff, it's all about getting you to accept this place.
Aye.
Like as if it's got some sort of bigger meaning and that it means something that we should try to work, or you should value your wee life here, or it's special, or it's beautiful, or it's, you know, it's all geared to making you think that you're here to try and, no, to me this is a fucking machine, right? No, it's a machine, an enclosed system, right? So it's a fake environment within a larger environment. There is a larger natural world beyond this fucking machine. That's just my hypothesis or theory or whatever, but I'm fucking sticking to it. I think there's a fucking door that leads into the bigger world, the real natural world, because this ain't fucking natural for me.
Lovely analogy was going through my head there on the magician sawing the woman in half. You know? Now, the special ones are the ones that are in the know. They know how that box operates.
Yep.
The ones in the audience that are getting fed this are just
Yep.
sitting there and they're just seen a woman climb into a box and then suddenly get cut in two.
Aye.
But we all know that's no really what's happening. But do we just accept it because that's what we're
Aye.
seeing? You know?
Aye. And
If
these-
you're in the know, if you're the magician or his assistant, you're laughing at everybody else because
Aye.
you know how that box works.
how it works, that's it. They know how the fucking machine works.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They know exactly how the fucking machine works.
Aye.
We need to get people to a level of critical thought. Fucking eradicate the fucking emotional cling to whatever, you know what I mean? You're still going to get people like, but I want to identify people who can, you know what I mean, think like this. Put what's important and fucking discard the rest of the shit.
See if you can see through what Darren Brown does the majority of the time. You're on the right fucking shit.
Exactly.
You're on the right path, honestly. If you can see past Darren Brown, or if you're the kind of person that watches Darren Brown and thinks that guy's amazing,
Aye.
you really need to
he's
rate
got
yourself up.
spiritual superpowers and
Aye.
all this fucking gunk. No, you're just playing on your fucking emotional weakness.
Bingo. I say lose the emotion. When you
Well,
feel emotions controlling you,
Aye.
that's when you need to get rid of them. If you're
Or
feeling,
you're acting the own
Aye.
emotional impulse.
Aye.
Emotions are a feedback tool. There's something for you to read to go, right, what's going on here and what am I really up to, and
No,
my emotions just to run the fucking show, do you know what I mean?
oh, I'm angry, so I need to go out and
Aye.
lobber somebody.
Aye.
You know, no, I'm angry, right? Why am I angry? You know, take it back to yourselves.
Aye.
But that's different. That's when you like.
That's idealism again. But I've got to aim for
I know.
my ideal and what I believe is the ideal scenario, do you know what I mean?
Aye. Well, we're all just what you're doing. We're just pointing out how things operate in different ways. We're not saying that's the only way it works.
And
I
I'm
know
not, but we're not. At the end of the day, we look serious and that all the time. I'm not like this. I'm not like this all my every part of my fucking life. But this to me is the most serious fucking thing that's happening just now, and it is fucking serious. And I've got no time for entertainment, run about it. I can have a laugh and stuff, but all the rest of it can get to fuck.
But even serious, that's a state of mind.
I know.
It's a
I
thing.
know. I do. You know,
I
we
know.
laugh at it. We don't take anything seriously.
know.
But you know, trying to address this fucking question, you know, you
I
need
know.
to separate everything away from it. To get
Fact
to
and
the
logic.
crux of it.
But then again, I've been that factual and that logical most of my days that people actually call me arrogant.
Aye.
You know, I'm sorry, I just don't fuck about the bush. You know what I mean? A spade to me is a fucking spade.
Yeah.
And
I've
don't-
never been
see,
that-
there's an area you've got to watch out for. I don't want anybody taking that in the racist connotation. I was talking about a shovely thing. I do gardening.
I've never been. I mean, it's always been like trying to figure what's going on, logic, and you know, emotions obviously played a confusing part in your
Oh,
life because of the traumas and the different things that was going on. But you know, none
I
of
was
it ever
finding
made
it like
sense.
my
I could
personal
never-
emotions weren't matching with what I was observing with other folk.
Aye.
And that's when I started seeing all the contradictions with people, and I was
Yeah.
like, hang on now, everyone's living a fucking lie, really. You know, it's very fucking rare to find somebody that's actually true to themselves and true to others. They're just all, as we spoke about, image-based, ego-based,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
And they're so distracted, whether it's through work or fake book or social media or tellies, they don't actually realise what way are they educating themselves. You know, they're not educating themselves, but then they'll stand there with their ego. Oh, I know that, and I know this, and I know everything. You know, fuck all. That's the best way. But anyway,
And I've not got an ego, and I'm not interested in these people who have got egos. I'm going to start sharing content on my channel of people who are sticking to the fucking facts, who are sticking to what's provable, and I'll ask them if it's fine to do that,
Aye.
you know. And that's what we should be doing. We should be encouraging this type of thought, you know, and supporting each other in this type of thought. No fucking sending people to fucking entertainers that are going to fill them full of fucking gobbledygook, you know what I mean? So,
keep it real, folks.
Aye.
Keep it real.
yeah. Right, that'll do. Hello. Hiya, babe. I don't know.